of Death begins, perhaps fittingly, at the story's end. With a handwritten shot list and choreography notes in place, Lee assembles much of the crew from The Way of the Dragon to join him for filming his battle against Abdul Jabar. Among them are assistant director Ricky Chick and 50-year-old Japanese cinematographer Tadashi Nishimoto. In addition to Abdul Jabar, James Tien, Bruce's co-star from The Big Boss and Fist of Fury, joins the first round of filming. Bruce, Tien, and Abdul Jabar participate in a promotional photo shoot as filming commences. In the years that follow, it is these images, taken by freelance photographer Chan Yuk, published far and wide by the media in the wake of Lee's death, that propel the incomplete Game of Death project to almost a mythic status. Filming begins on September 7th on the top secret project, with Bruce remaining behind the camera, directing the fight between James and Kareem. The title written on the slate seen between setups is simply Audition. The title, The Game of Death, will not be confirmed for some weeks, with the project referred to in a trade announcement under the working title, Yellow-Faced Tiger. Born in Guangdong, China in 1942, James Tien moved with his family to Hong Kong in 1958, and after a stint at the Fusheng Drama School in Taiwan, began acting as a contract player for Shaw Brothers in 1969. He decamped to Golden Harvest along with director Lo Wei the following year, and climbed the ladder to leading man status in films such as The Invincible Eight, The Blade Spares None, and The Chase. James Tien's character, referred to in Lee's notes as Tien Da, is one of the other fighters sent by the crime boss. Primarily cast as noble heroes at this stage in his career, Bruce cast Tien against type as a duplicitous schemer who tricks his way up to the final floor of the pagoda, only to get his just desserts as he is hopelessly outmatched by the foe awaiting him at the top. Though this is the third time James Tien and Bruce Lee have worked with one another, their collaboration got off to a shaky start. In the first half of The Big Boss, the apparent star of the film is arguably not Bruce, but James Tien, who confidently leads the film's early fight scenes. Even when filming started, it wasn't clear whether Lee or Tien's character would lead the film, as Raymond Chow seemed to hedge his bets against his latest signing. But as Lee continued to impress on location in Thailand, the die was cast. Tien's character would suddenly be killed off halfway through, with Bruce's character avenging his death, as well as that of his other friends and family, in the second half. But following his alleged displacement from the lead role in The Big Boss, Tien's stint as a headline name was short-lived, and The Game of Death was the first of several roles playing heels and villains, as Tien gradually settled into life as a busy, dependable character actor. Born Ferdinand Louis Alcindor Jr. in 1947, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, his Muslim name meaning Noble One, Servant of Allah, met Bruce Lee in 1968 when he was looking for a martial arts tutor after graduating from UCLA. Lee and the well-read, intellectually curious Abdul-Jabbar, who had just converted to Islam, became fast friends. While tutoring the future NBA star in Jeet Kune Do, and still dreaming of the prosperous filmmaking career yet to come, Lee often considered the cinematic possibilities of an on-screen duel between the two, with Lee standing at 5'7" and Abdul-Jabbar at 7'2". The introduction of Abdul-Jabbar's character remains one of The Game of Death's most enduring images. One could argue that the design of the Guardian of the Unknown was an influence on Arnold Schwarzenegger's portrayal of the Terminator over a decade later. A tall, mute, seemingly inhuman foe with superhuman strength, his impassive features largely hidden behind a pair of impenetrable black sunglasses. In a moment, there is a break in the action, to be filled with shots of Bruce's character still fighting another opponent on the floor below that won't be filmed for another 6 weeks. When the scene resumes, Tien's character is already fighting for his life. He makes one futile, final dash for the top of the pagoda, but the Guardian of the Unknown effortlessly plucks him down in a move that will doubtless look familiar to basketball fans. It is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's trademark skyhook, where he leaps in the air while holding the ball as high as he can in one hand, well out of the reach of the other team. His triumphant trademark is creatively repurposed by Bruce into something otherworldly, unlike anything seen on Hong Kong cinema screens before. Not long after James Tien subtly sticks his neck out enough for Abdul-Jabbar to reach and pull him down, the Guardian's superhuman strength is further demonstrated in the next few shots. As he begins to choke and squeeze Tien's throat while suspending him in midair before flinging him across the room like a rag doll. As filming continues on September 8th, Tien stands on a box during the over-the-shoulder shots, while the wide shots are accomplished using a wire harness attached to his back. Though wire work became ubiquitous in later Hong Kong action films, in particular those choreographed by Yuen Wu-ping, it was still in its infancy here, and had only made one prior appearance in a Bruce Lee film, in a stunt performed by a young Jackie Chan at the end of Fist of Fury. For the second half of the stunt, in which his character is flung across to the other side of the room, Tien achieves the desired height by jumping off a strategically placed mattress, similar to the trampolining effect already well established in the Wu Xiaoqian swordplay films still popular in Hong Kong, whose characters frequently clashed in gravity-defying duels. The beginning of the jump isn't intended to be included in the final film, but winds up featuring in some later assemblies of the footage nonetheless. Ironically filming his character's final scenes in the film on only the second day of filming, the defeated and terrified Tien attempts to scream for help from Bruce's character, Hei Tien, still fighting another foe on the floor below. As he reaches for his throat, Chang can hardly make a sound, his vocal cords crushed by the Guardian of the Unknown.